Hello friends and foes and all you other. Welcome to the draft recap for the UBL off-season low tier. And when I say low tier, I mean very low tier. We are not going to be going into full depth analysis trying to make like super deep clever connections or anything. I just want to present and not smash the box. What I drafted, and yes, what I drafted, like literally just the very basic thoughts. So I had no plans, I had no idea what I was doing. I was told that Tauros was good, and I can kind of see it has a good attack stat, and it's speedy, and obviously speed tiers, and low tier, super wacky. And you know, if you have a Tauros in the highest tier, you know it's low tier. So I grabbed that because it was still there. Like there were two different pools and blah blah blah. I don't remember what number I was, who I was between. It doesn't matter at all. Cause I don't care. But I did not have any plan. So I was just like kind of scrolling through the tiers and seeing if I could find something that was, you know, had like a high value. And I do, that were definitely some that I feel were way too lowly priced. And I was just like, I'm gonna take these because they're not gonna last. So I snagged myself a tier 3 Jolteon. A Pokemon that works quite well in regular draft league, in tier 3, in a loaded draft, that is theoretically the fastest thing in the whole bloody format because it has quick feed, obviously. I don't know why this was tier 3. I had to snag it, and it was the same for Klawitza, who's a great wall breaker. Albeit slow, but still a great wall breaker in regular draft league, in tier 3. I don't care. I had to snag them. There's basically nothing that can wall Klawitza when it has coverage. So, you know, I think we're up to a pretty good start.
Secretariat holding on to a large lead.
Next up, we're drafting a little bit of bulk and also toxic spikes, which you do know that I'm not gonna click when I'm supposed to click it. So anyway, we got it. It was still there, and like it's good value. It's quite nice. Neutralizing gas can be quite useful. And the next, when you in a low-tier draft league is what I'm trying to say. There's a buttload of ice types, and there's a buttload of grass types. And I was kind of, you know, looking at the grass type. You know, I did want a grass type, obviously. So I was told that this one, you know, that was actually quite lowly priced compared to how well it can do. And I know that my assistant coach is rolling in his grave over the fact that he was definitely not consulted on this. So we drafted Trevenant. And you know what's great? Trevenant is a tree. I have an education in forestry. And he's not just a tree, he's a dead tree. And dead trees are good for biodiversity, so we're actually very, very nature friendly. And trees are also very good for the climate, so we're fighting climate change all by having Trevenant on the team. The next, I went into my free picks. And if there's one thing there's not a lot of fairy types, and there's not a lot of steel types. So I got them both in one in a while, who's obviously not that great. But like, it is good typing. It can do well defensively. It can be pretty good, you know?
You liar!
They're obviously good ground types. Yeah, they are annoying. But like, Mobile has all the same coverage the regular Mobile does. It just has a booty attack stat. And it is intimidatingly, so it got that going. And it also gives me some rocks, which is maybe kind of useful potentially. Who knows? Next up, we have our best death fodder in the whole world. Skuntank. It's only literally here for death fodder. It's what it does best.
What's he doing?
That's a ripple dissolve. He must be having a flashback.
That's a Landorus. Okay, he's bulk in gravity because that did like 35%. And it basically just mollywops everything on my team. So still it's too good to let go. Garchomp is a winning condition. Usually still too good. Like my whole team is good and I really don't have time. I have to sack something. Basically sack Skuntank, I guess. It doesn't need any other explanation at all. So we'll just move on. I was looking at a low tier here because obviously we need a ground type. We need a ground type, and I had a good eye to one of the high tier Pokemon. So we're digging pretty low, and I'm gonna snag myself a Marowak first because Marowak is a Marowak.
Well, duh!
And it's a ground type, and it's cheap, and it was relatively affordable.
Sabrina had this picture of her family in her room. If you have the same picture, then that must mean you're... Huh? Then that must mean you're a photographer!
It's also a secondary rocker in case I need it. See, I do force it a little bit into a defensive role on this team, and I can see that. But I can also see that Trevenant is Trick Room, and Trevenant, first of all, also has a very good attack stat. Marowak with Flip Club also has a pretty good attack stats. So like I have fast mode with Jolty and Tauros, and I have a slow mode with Trevin and the Marowak. So don't come here and say that we ain't gonna deal with that, because we are, and that's absolutely great, and that made no sense. As does the maybe our next pick doesn't to most of you, but you know, I picked a Hakamoa. I want a fighting type. I also need a dragon type, and this little bugger here is actually quite bulky. He's a bulky boy. Like, just don't let him get anywhere near fairy type moves, and you're kind of Gucci actually. You want to get also still Dragon Dance. Like, mind you, it's not that fast, but again, it's low tier. There's a lot of things that aren't that fast. So it could also actually end up setting up a Dragon Dance one day and maybe sweep, you know? And most importantly, it leaves me enough points for a tier 1 pick, which is apparently quite obvious what I wanted. There was one other coach who could afford a tier 1. And I was like, hey, what are you drafting? I don't want you to draft mine after all. And he was like, you either want this or you want this. But knowing you and looking at him, it's going to be this. And this it is. It is an Articuno. It's a burp. I love burps. It's an ice type. I love ice types. So smack them together and you have perfection. So that's a team I'm actually quite excited to play, because like I feel like I've been craving a breath of fresh air with Pokemon, and I think like low tier, like, and very low tier at that, I think that might, you know, suit my style a bit. I don't have any big expectations for results at all. I just want to have fun playing it. That's my goal for it, because you know, competitive Pokemon and me, we are a little bit on an off and on relationship, and right now we're a little bit off, so now we're trying to get on again. And hopefully this can help. This is also going up way too late, so you will not have to wait a whole lot of time. And with that, I don't mean you don't have to wait another week. I hopefully it should be up tomorrow with the battle. Yeah, the first week battle should hopefully be up tomorrow, or at least the day after that. So you'll see it pretty soon. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye. I don't know what this is.